I'll now call the public hearing of November the 14th, 2023 to order. This meeting is being convened by electronic means. As such, council members may participate in person or by electronic means. For council members participating by electronic means, please ensure your video is turned on and let the clerk know if you leave the meeting for the purposes of confirming quorum. And yes, we are super tight. There's only 6 of us, so please take that one to note. Council members are reminded that in accordance with section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw, members must enable their video to confirm quorum. If council members attending by electronic means lose connection during any portion of the hearing, we will recess the meeting until the connection is restored. If council members lose connection during the voting process, team members will get you back online quickly while we suspend the voting process. The contact information has been circulated to you. Members of the public can view the proceedings via the live stream and YouTube link, which will be posted on X at Van City Clerk. I do want to acknowledge once again that we're hosting today's public hearing on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And I do thank them for their generosity and their hospitality and the love and the care that they show this land that we get to live, work, and play on. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to unlearn what we've learned in the past and learn the true history as what has happened on these lands. If we do that, we're going to build an incredibly bright future full of prosperity and love for all of us and going out future generations. Now, in case of an emergency, please direct your way out the doors and to the left. And if those doors are obstructed, we have 4 doors here that you can evacuate the building. Please don't take the elevator. It'll probably be might be a bad idea. We also have a defibrillator down at the end of the hall if we need it. Now, I do want to recognize once again the amazing contributions of all of our team members at the City of Vancouver. Like I've said countless times, I've personally, and I know all our team members on council have had the opportunity to see you in action and to work side by side with you. And I can tell you, and I can tell the City of Vancouver, we have amazing people here who work incredibly hard and who really care about our city. And we're lucky to be, part of your team. So thank you. So Clerk, can we please have a roll call?
Mayor Sim in the chair, Councillor Carr.
Present.
Councillor Kirby Young is on a leave of absence for civic business. Councillor Dominato is on a leave of absence for civic business. Councillor Bly is on a leave of absence for civic business. Councillor Boyle.
Present.
Councillor Fry.
Present.
Councillor Montague.
Present.
Councillor Klassen is on a leave of absence for civic business. Councillor Meisner is on a leave of absence for civic business. Councillor Joe.
Present.
You have quorum, Mayor Sim.
Great, thank you very much. Now, before we begin, I do have some announcements. The public may participate by speaking in person, by phone, or by submitting written comments to Mayor and Council. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Speakers should also state whether they are in support or opposed to the recommendations and if they are a resident of Vancouver. Speakers may only speak once and should follow along on X at Van City Clerk for updates on the progress of the meeting so they don't miss their turn to speak. Any comments on agenda items can be submitted in writing through our online web form at Mayor and Council Public Hearing Feedback web form. This link will also be posted on X. Those speaking on behalf of 4 or more persons or groups, including the speaker, will have 8 minutes to speak, and only if those represented are also on the line or in person and must not be individual speakers themselves. Great. Okay. I also want to note the City of Vancouver's longstanding commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion, including utmost respect for all genders. I remind Council that when addressing speakers and team members, we will avoid using gendered honorifics and will instead refer to the person by first and last name, role, or title. A reminder that Council's role at a public hearing is to be a quasi-judicial body, which means Council is to only consider the merits of the rezoning application or heritage designation. Council members may ask clarifying questions from speakers, including the applicant, or technical advice from team members, but should save debate for after the close of the speakers list. After hearing from speakers, council may 1, approve the application in principle, 2, refuse the application, or 3, refer the application to team members for further consideration. Finally, if council does not conclude hearing from all speakers this evening, we will recess and reconvene the meeting on Thursday, November the 16th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Okay, so the first item on the docket is number 1, CD-1 rezoning 5515 to 5525 Elizabeth Street. Does any member of council wish to declare a conflict of interest on item 1? Seeing no one, the clerk will now read the application and summary of correspondence received.
Is an application by Ardor Development Limited to rezone 5515 to 5525 Elizabeth Street from residential district to comprehensive development district to permit the development of a 4-story residential building, a partial 5th-floor rooftop amenity area with 27 strata titled residential units, a floor space ratio of 2.0 and a maximum building height of 13.7 meters with additional height to 18.2 meter. Where rooftop amenity and mechanical appurtenances are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design and Sustainability recommends approval subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendations with the addition of 1 yellow memorandum dated November 9th, 2023. No correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing, and this represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. This is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be tweeted out and made available on the live stream. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be added to the end of the registered speakers list. Now, since there are no registered speakers, I suggest that we waive the presentation. Can I get a mover?
Move.
Great, that's Lenny. Councillor Joe, seconded by
Councillor Carr.
Councillor Carr. Thank you very much. Is there any debate? No? Okay, all those in favor say yay.
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 That sounds like a lot, yep. All opposed say nay. Great, the motion carries. We will not hear the presentation. Is the applicant team here to speak to the application? No?
Yes, this is Andrew Chung, Architects. I can answer questions, but I won't be doing any presentation.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to team, to our internal team here or the applicant team, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Seeing none. Okay, we're gonna hear from the public. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium before the close of the speakers list. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. But do we have any speakers on the line?
There are no speakers on the line or in the chamber.
Okay. This is the final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium. So we're going to now take a 5-minute recess to wait for any additional speakers. list is now closed. Seeing that there are little or no comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now closing the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Does our team have any closing comments? Okay.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Staff would like to note there is a yellow memo attached to this report. The yellow memo recommends minor amendments to the recommendations as a result of Council enacting the multiplex zoning amendments on October 17th. The amendments are to delete any reference to the RS zoning and to replace with the new R11 residential inclusive zone. No action is required on the yellow memo as corrections have been made, included in the summary and recommendations. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. I'd like to remind council that we will need to move the recommendation for item 1 together with the yellow memo dated November the 9th, 2023, rezoning 5515 Elizabeth Street amendment to subdivision bylaw. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendation?
I'll move with the yellow memo.
Well, and I think that was Councillor Montague, and I think I saw is that Councillor Boyle that put up her hand to second? Awesome.
Yeah, happy to.
Didn't have my glasses on. Wow. Okay. Great. Is there any debate? No. Okay. So why don't we put this to a vote?
Mayor, this is Councillor Boyle. Can I get a vote assisted in favor?
Yep.
Thanks.
Great. And it passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, the next item is number 2, CD-1 rezoning, 1510 West 71st Avenue and 8733 Granville Street. Does any member of council wish to declare a conflict of interest on item 2? No? Okay, great. The clerk will now read the application and summary of correspondence received.
There is an application by Graduate Architecture to rezone 15110 West 71st Avenue and 8733 Granville Street from Commercial District and Residential District to CD1 Comprehensive Development District to permit the development of a 6-story mixed-use building with commercial space at grade and 74 secured market rental units, a height of 22 meter and a floor space ratio of 3.38 are proposed. General Manager of Planning, Urban Design and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation, with the addition of one yellow memorandum dated November 9th, 2023. The following correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing: one piece of correspondence in support, one piece of correspondence in opposition, and that represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be added to the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Planner for this rezoning application being considered under the Marple Plan. Staff would like to note a yellow memo is attached to this report. No action is required by council on the memo to amend the public consultation summary included within Appendix D. The site outlined in red is located on the west side of Granville Street between West 71st and 72nd Avenues. The surrounding context consists of low-rise apartment buildings and commercial uses. as well as an 11-storey mixed-use building that was approved by Council in 2021. The site comprises of a 3-lot assembly and is currently developed with a commercial building and a 2-storey rental building with 8 rental units. Given the project involves site consolidation of 2 or more sites, the tenant relocation and protection policy applies. 4 out of the 8 tenancies are eligible. The site is well served by transit and amenities, with bus service, bikeways, community centres, and parks nearby. This proposal is being considered under the MARPO plan. Redevelopment is guided by the plan, which anticipates mixed-use building forms at this location. The site straddles 2 policy areas. The first policy area, which applies to the north portion of the site towards 71st Avenue, anticipates 6-storey mixed-use buildings with a density of 2.5 FSR. A mix of commercial uses is required at the ground level. The second policy area applies to the south portion of the site and anticipates 6-storey residential buildings with a 2.5 FSR. A choice of use is permitted at the ground level. Supportable density is based on urban design and public realm performance. The application was submitted in November 2022. A 6-storey mixed-use building with 74 secured rental units and 6 ground floor commercial units is proposed. An FSR of 3.38 is also proposed. As per the plan, density up to 2.5 FSR can be supported, and additional density may be considered based on urban design and public realm performance. Staff are supportive of the proposed increase in density from 2.5 to 3.38 FSR due to the form of development being in general alignment with the built form guidelines of the plan. A building height of 72 feet is proposed, and parking and loading is from the lane. At the southeast corner of the site, the building massing steps back above the 3rd storey to respond to the neighbouring apartment building to the south. The rear massing fronting the lane also appropriately responds to the nearby 4-storey apartment building. In terms of public realm improvements, this application includes pedestrian scale storefronts to activate the public realm, wider sidewalks, and new street trees on both Granville Street and 71st Avenue. Overall, the proposed form of development is compliant with the plan. The Housing Vancouver strategy seeks to deliver a range of tenures and affordability across the housing continuum. Renting, which is shown in green, has lower monthly costs than home ownership, which is shown in orange. A total of 9 submissions were received during the virtual open house. Comments were for height, density, and neighbourhood fit. Support was expressed for the proposed form of development, secured rental units, and at-grade commercial space. Concerns were related to the lack of availability of on-street parking. The applicant has offered a cash CAC of $750,000, as well as a DCL payment estimated at $1.9 million. In conclusion, this proposal is consistent with the MARPO plan, and staff support the application subject to the conditions outlined in Appendix B. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Is the applicant team here to speak to the application?
So this is Ian Guan, and the architect. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to our team or the applicant team, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Seeing none. All right, so we're now going to hear from the public. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium before the close of the speakers list. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Now, let's see, we do have one speaker, and it is Dominic Denofrio. Hi, Dominic. Welcome.
Hi, as you said, my name's Dominic D'Onofrio. I'm here to speak in support of the rezoning proposal. I live in Marpole, about a block away from this proposed development at 72nd and Granville. My primary reason for supporting this rezoning is the purpose-built rental units. As we all know, our city has a desperate lack of rental stock. The vacancy rate in Marpole is, according to CMHC's most recent data, only 0.4%. And as a young person in Vancouver who hopes to one day be able to move out of my parents' place, nothing in the world sounds better than adding more rental units in my neighborhood. As staff just mentioned, I think this proposal fits perfectly in the Marpole plan. That corner the rezoning sitting on is singled out in the plan as mixed use up to 6 stories, so which is exactly what's being proposed here. I'm particularly also excited about the addition of more commercial space in that southern part of Marpole along Granville. Having just moved to the area there, I've noticed there are a few services that are missing that could maybe move into that commercial space if it's approved. I'm thinking particularly a Mexican restaurant or an ice cream place. Regardless of what ends up going there, the prospect of more space for small business in Marpole is very exciting. I believe this rezoning, to approve it, is the obvious choice. We need more of these kinds of rezonings in my neighborhood, but all across the city. I imagine this proposal's a pretty uncontroversial one, seeing as it was already accounted for in the Marpole plan. But I hope one day soon we see rezonings like this further up Granville into the north of Marpole, Oak Ridge, Carrisdale, Shaughnessy. So I would strongly encourage council to unanimously approve this proposal. And thank you very much for your time.
Great. Thank you very much, Dominic. And yeah, there should be another place besides the McDonald's right on the corner there to get your ice cream. So
Yep.
You're up in that hood. Okay. Clerk, do we have any other speakers online?
No other speakers on the line or in the chamber.
Okay, great. So this is the final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium. So we will now take another 5-minute recess to wait for any additional speakers. thank you very much. We have another speaker, Ken Metronek. Ken's on the phone? Ken, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Great, please go ahead.
Yes, I've been in the neighborhood since '86 when I moved into a co-op, watching the whole neighborhood grow up, build up. It's been very excellent. The reason I'm calling is that I'm the one that opposed, and the reason I opposed it is I could not find in any of the documents whether or not there were any wheelchair accessible apartments. And that's...
Thank you very much. We have another speaker, Ken Metronek. Ken's on the phone? Ken, can you...
Sorry, I just have to mute.
We're getting some feedback. I'm going to stop your timer for a sec.
Sorry about that. I just muted it. My apologies. I left it on. I was
Okay,
watching.
you muted. Great, thank you.
Right, yeah. So the reason is that in all the documents that I read, I could not find anything about wheelchair accessible apartments. And that's something that I've noticed in the new developments that are coming up, is it's very difficult to find any rentals that are wheelchair accessible. So I had hoped that this one, being it's in my neighborhood and there's a lot of wheelchairs in the area, that maybe this would be one of the first ones that would actually have a rental apartment that's wheelchair accessible. I did notice in the documents, I can't remember which one it was, that the amenity had a wheelchair accessible kitchen and bathroom, so I'm not sure if there are any accessible apartments. Are there any?
Sorry, Ken, this is your opportunity to talk, but there are no questions to council.
Okay. So, in essence, well, unfortunately, that just leaves me stuck because when I read the documents, I didn't see any wheelchair accessibility for the apartments actually living. Based on that, then that's why I had to oppose it.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Clerk, are there any more speakers online?
There are no speakers on the line and no speakers in the chamber.
Okay. So seeing that there are no additional speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Seeing that there are little or no comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now closing the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments?
No, Your Honor, we don't have any comments, but just wanted to clarify that the building is handicap accessible. Because
I'm sorry, we're just having some volume issues here. Is there a way of turning up the volume, please?
hello? Is it good?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
okay?
Are you able to turn up your microphone volume? Or speak closer to the microphone, please?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to clarify that the building is handicap accessible. We have 2 elevators where wheelchair people can access all floor out. So the building is handicap accessible.
Great, thank you very much. I'm sure Ken will be glad to hear that. Okay, do our team members have any closing comments?
Staff have no closing comments, but just a reminder that there is a yellow memo attached to the report.
Great, thank you very much. Does council have any questions for our team? Seeing none, I'd like to remind council that we will need to move the recommendation for item 2 together with one yellow memo dated November the 9th, 2023. Rezoning 1510 West 71st Avenue and 8733 Granville Street, public consultation correction. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendation?
I'll move, Mayor.
I saw Councillor Boyle's hand first. Is there a seconder?
Second.
Is that Councillor Fry? Councillor Fry,
It is.
there you go. Is there any debate? Okay, let's put this one to a vote. Great, and it passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, the next item on the docket is number 3, CD-1 rezoning 430 to 440 West Pender Street. Does any member of council wish to declare a conflict of interest on item 3? Seeing none. Here we go. The clerk will now read the application and summary of correspondence received.
There's an application by Architectural Collective to rezone 430 to 440 West Pender Street from Downtown District to CD1 Comprehensive Development District to permit the development of a 12-story mixed-use building with a partial 13-floor rooftop amenity area with commercial at-grade and AT secured market rental housing units, a floor space ratio of 8.42 and a maximum building height of 32 meter with additional height to 35.1 meter or partial 13-floor rooftop common amenity space are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation with the addition of one yellow memorandum dated November 9th, 2023. The following correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing. One piece of correspondence dealing with other aspects of the application. That represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, so this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be added to the end of the registered speakers list. Since there are no registered speakers, I suggest that we waive the presentation. Can I get a mover? Great, Councillor Boyle, and seconded by Councillor
Second.
Joe. Thank you very much. Is there any debate? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say yay.
Yay.
Okay, well, sounds
Yay.
good.
Yay.
All those opposed say nay. Great, the motion carries. Okay, is the applicant team here to speak to the application? Great, thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to our team or the applicant team, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? All right, we're gonna now hear from the public. Now, this is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium before the close of the speakers list. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Now, we do have speakers, I believe, online. Oh, they're all here. Sorry, I should wear my glasses. So the first speaker we have is, I hope I'm reading this properly, Tangle.
Hello. Yes, I'm here on behalf of a community space that is involved at 436 West Pender. Here is opposed for this hearing. This community space has been in here for nearly a decade. We've been supporting open source and blockchain technology. With this, we will be displaced with this rezoning and construction. And the community commons that is being proposed within all of this is also doesn't support our current needs. And the fact that it is residential would also limit and hinder our abilities for amplified sound for events and things and presentations of that nature. Also, with the costs of moving and finding a new place, as well as the fact that with the location that we are currently at in downtown being extremely accessible for many people, close to the SkyTrain and whatnot, finding another space like this would also be very challenging. The plans that we see don't particularly look to accommodate and in the ways that we would need. So I think just in closing, it seems very challenging for us to try and make this work, particularly the common space being on the roof or the rooftop above all of the residential areas. Just seems very challenging to have it as a accessible space that would be catering to after hours, as a lot of us are working during the day and would generally have this join this space later on, whether it be afternoons or later afternoons or evenings. I think that's about all I have.
Great, thank you. And sorry, I forgot to ask you, are you a resident of Vancouver?
I am.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in today. The next speaker we have is Gary, and I apologize once again if I mispronounced your name, Gary Lashak.
Hello. Thank
Gary,
you.
Are you so welcome. Are you a resident of Vancouver?
Yeah, resident for 22 years now, I believe.
Go ahead.
So thank you for having me here today, getting the opportunity to speak about Decentral. Proud Vancouver resident for over 20 years, and for the past 10 years, proud contributor to this space known as Decentral, which has become a beautiful community hub for hundreds of people over the years. I printed out and brought news articles this one's from the Georgia Strait, dating back to 2014. The title is Decentral Vancouver Incubates Bitcoin Community. Another one, CoinFest 2015, connects Bitcoin community in Vancouver to the world. 2018, how Decentral creates the foundation for Vancouver's blockchain companies. And most recently, Crypto City, the ultimate guide to Vancouver, 2022. And yeah, this space has been, I believe, one of Vancouver's best kept secrets. It's been totally community driven, community funded, all volunteer, and it's been run as a space to promote open source and decentralization. And I know that term might be a bit tricky for people to fully comprehend, and there's different definitions, but I define decentralization as the decentralization of power, and I think the zeitgeist of our times is the transition from closed and centralized power structures to open and decentralized. So a good example of that is, one good example is taxi services. Traditionally, it was one central cab company. You had to phone them. It was totally, every aspect was rigidly controlled. Partially decentralized is Uber, where it's connecting peer-to-peer, driver to passenger. And the ultimate manifestation of that would be a fully open source service, which could be built on blockchain, the technology that underlies Bitcoin. And that would obviate the need for Uber as a company or credit cards as the payment services. So you can connect people peer-to-peer to build, create, community own the system. So all the revenues would come back to the citizens of Vancouver instead of going to an American company, for example. And this applies to anything like YouTube, Facebook Marketplace. Every institution that we have can be fully open and decentralized, and that will allow anyone in the world to be fully empowered. And it's not limited to countries or geography. For example, if you wanted to fund a project in a developing country, like building a well, they could propose that, and then anyone could instantly donate using cryptocurrencies to fund. And you could do loans the same way as well. So I only have 5 minutes to discuss this topic, but all of us who've built this space were there because we deeply believe in this technology as a way to build a more peaceful and productive and harmonious world. And yeah, we really hope that however this development goes, we can find a new home in Vancouver that is affordable and doesn't require us to make any yeah, we just hope that we can keep the space as something that has a lot of soul and meaning and purpose. And I think this is something that Vancouver really needs. It's been my home away from home for 10 years, and look forward to continuing this conversation. So,
Great.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. And, you know, regardless of what happens, I hope there's a bright future. You know, fix money, fix the world.
Yes.
And, you know, the blockchain technology is absolutely incredible. And we're quite aware of what you guys do.
We've heard rumors that you're a supporter of the blockchain.
Yep, I'm a big believer. Anyways, we're going on a tangent here, but regardless of, you know, we're in a public hearing about a rezoning, and what you're working on is incredible. So
thanks. Love to share these with you, or
I'd love to get a copy. Thank you. Okay, the next speaker we have is Julia Love.
Oh, thank you. My name is Julia Love. I am a fairly new resident of Vancouver, visiting often as of 2 years ago, moving here formally a year ago. I am a longtime AI engineer, international leader in the decentralized community, and I'm also a member of Decontrol. Pardon me for not having memorized this. I've been traveling quite a bit for work. Decontrol is the first place I visited on my initial trip to Vancouver. It's the first place I felt I found my people, and the first thing I saw excitedly from the rotating restaurant as well was our sidewalk. This place is a special feature of Earth, not just Vancouver. It's something that is extremely unique to Vancouver, though, as there's nowhere else in the world like it. Decontrol's shortfall is merely being ahead of its time, in my opinion. It would be a shame for the public to fail to see its value and the value it's bringing in a better world. Decontrol is a seed for inspiration in this city. It is a part of the heart of Vancouver and something that makes Vancouver more special than any other city in the world to many people, including myself. Just 2 weeks ago while in Tokyo, Japan, during a dinner with Kobe Bryant's security attorney, he couldn't wait to tell me how attending DogeCon 2018 in Vancouver and all of his experiences at Decontrol was a pivotal moment in his life. He's a resident of Brooklyn in New York, by the way, so the reach is far. This decade-old community center has helped lead to millions in technological development over its short lifespan. It makes Vancouver a hub for decentralized tech. Not sure if you've heard of Dapper Labs or CryptoKitties. It's a pretty niche thing, but that is all here and one of the things that makes Vancouver so wonderful. Not to mention, over those 10 years, we have been largely self-sustaining. When I walk down the stairs in the Decentral, or I call it Decentral, it's Decontrol, it's another way to say it, I enter a world of buzzing, excited, creative energy, filled with people like myself who traditionally wouldn't feel they belong in most places. But here, they not only feel at home, they grow, they build, and they teach others how to do the same. It would be a travesty for this city to lose another fiber of what makes it so special to begin with, in my opinion, as someone from the outside coming in. The bureaucratic process we're doing today must have some purpose, and I challenge you to remember what that purpose is right now. It is to preserve what matters. It is to save what people love so dearly about this city. What brought me into this world of tech was the hope that humanity could awaken to what true value is. And when you look back on your life, I hope you remember what you built with the people you love. This is one of those for me. Decontrol is an institute for education, community, and belonging. It deserves to be recognized as such based on its accomplishments and what it's added to the city. I hope you see the beauty in Decontrol, and if you can't, then I hope you have enough empathy to know how much this community space means to us. The current plans for a small art studio in a residential building is insufficient for the work we do, in my opinion. I'm not sure what options there are to keep this as a special part of Vancouver, but I believe it's important for the future of Vancouver to preserve decontrol and to do that in a way where decontrol remains functional. Considering what we have done for the city of Vancouver over the last decade, how much we plan to do in the future, and how little we have ever asked in return, I ask of you to consider making sure the special community place has a space here in Vancouver to grow and prosper. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thank you very much, Julia. The next speaker we have is David Jean Genest.
Hello, Mayor Sim. Yeah, I'm a resident of Vancouver as well. And my comments I've submitted online, so I believe that's going to be included. But I just wanted to add that we have, in addition to the sidewalk, which is an easement from the city, there are sort of a series of glass lights that we would hope to be preserved because basically we have created a system that actually broadcasts lights from underneath the sidewalk. So we can show you a video of that if necessary, but I've also just wanted to add to my comments that I've also submitted online. Okay? That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming in. And finally, we have Denny Bate. Sorry, I can't read this. Is it Bateman? Tatum, I'm sorry. Good? Okay. Great, thank you very much. So Clerk, do we have any other speakers online there? No? Okay, so this is the final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium. So we're now going to take another 5-minute recess to wait for any additional speakers. Is Russell here or is he online? Russell, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Great. All right. Hi, my name is Russell Wong. I'm calling to support this rezoning for 80 Market Rentals. I'm a Vancouver resident.
Sorry, Russell, can I put you on hold for 1 sec?
Sure.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, Councillor Boyle, are you there? Maybe we'll take another 2-minute recess. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry, Russell. We just need all of us here to have quorum.
Hi, Councillor Boyle. Can you hear us in the chamber?
I can. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Terry, can you hear us in the chamber? Just want to make sure we're
Okay, I
connected.
can hear you. I can hear you now. I'll put Russell through.
Okay, thanks.
Over to you, Russell.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Russell Wong. I'm calling to support this rezoning for 80 Market Rentals. I'm a Vancouver resident. I work in tech myself, so I'm sympathetic to the people who spoke in opposition, but I just wanted to point out that we desperately need more housing, especially secure rental housing. What prices and rents are telling us is that we need to build a truly massive amount of housing, especially in more central locations with easy access to jobs. Younger people are being crushed and driven out of the city by the scarcity and cost of housing. And I appreciate the importance of community, but honestly, in my experience, a lot of tech community building happens online. Thank you.
There are no further speakers. Oh,
Seeing that there are additional
No closing comments. Just a note of clarification. There is no yellow memo for this item, which was included in the introduction.
This is Councillor Boyle. If the mayor is speaking, we can't seem to hear it on, or I can't hear it on the WebEx.
Sorry, you know what? I muted myself. My bad. Okay, we'll try that all over again. Maybe I'll rewind back 3 steps just in case people, I don't want to miss anything here. So does council have any questions for team members? Councillor Fry. Councillor Fry, we can't hear you. Can we?
Thanks, Mayor. Sorry, are we sure about that yellow memo? It is posted online as dated November 9th and applicable to 430 to 440 West Pender about rainwater management. Should that be then struck from the website?
Clerk. So do we have one? Yeah. So there's none according to them, but according to the script here, we do have one. Yep. Why don't we take another 2 minutes?
Just to be clear, it is posted on the website.
Yep.
With the agenda.
Yardley McNeil, Director of the Rezoning Center. Thank you for that. The rainwater management condition relates to a number of reports. It's an adjustment to a standard engineering condition, and it is posted. I think we would ask you to move it with your recommendation tonight.
Great. Okay. So now we're all clear. There is one. Thank you very much. So I'd like to remind council that we will need to move the recommendation for item 3 together with one yellow memo dated November the 9th, 2023, which is the rezoning 430 to 440 West Pender Street, conditions of approval in Appendix B. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendation?
I'll move.
Thank you, Councillor Joe, seconded by Councillor Boyle. Thank you very much. Is there any debate? And Councillor Fry.
Thanks, Mayor. If you'll indulge me, I would like to offer a little lament for 440. I lived here for many years. This was where Dawn and I, my wife now, we first shacked up there. We had an apartment on the 2nd floor. Long before it was decentral, I had my zine factory and print studio in the basement at 436, and actually stopped a city crew from paving over the purple bricks that somebody had referenced earlier. they were going to pave over them in entirety, and I had to stand there and stop a team with asphalt there. It was a pretty exciting community. We called it kind of the punk rock Melrose place. A whole bunch of us living there in various apartments. Kind of crazy circumstances, not legal living, but kind of artist living. We had the neon glow of the Niagara Hotel would bask through our bedroom window. And there was the Criterion bookstore next door in the other building that's going to be developed here. There was a rich history of artist studios in there. During my day, it was Walter Hebblethwaite, but Richard Attila Lukács, who's a very well-known artist, had his studio there where he allegedly captured a young man and handcuffed him in a shower that we still used when I was living there. During I had an epic New Year's party for 1999. And in 2001, when the earthquake happened in Seattle, we actually saw a pretty good amount of damage. And my basement studio, which was previously a reptile farm, it saw a lot of water incursion because of cracks in the foundation. And yeah, and so the building, when it was bought back then by a fellow who bought it, an older gentleman named Charles from West Van, he had bought it with the idea that that would be developed into the BC Hydro building, which of course got developed elsewhere. And so he was holding onto that building, collected our rent in cash for years. All this to say that that building has a rich history. So to the folks from Decentral who are there, and to Denny from Bangtown who is in the audience, I totally recognize what this loss means, but also recognizing that that building is pretty beat up, and to keep it going in a proper way would cost a significant amount of investment. And what we're seeing is that investment that will retain the facade, retain the lions, and hopefully recreate the purple bricks. It's sad to see it go, and I have such a huge history in that building that I am also sad to see it go for sentimental reasons. But as we know, this will deliver a pretty significant amount of rental housing, which ironically is so much more than we paid for rents when I lived there 20-something years ago. But yeah, I just didn't feel right without giving a little lament for old 440 West Pender, because we sure had a lot of amazing good memories there and a lot of good times. And thank you, 440 West Pender.
Thanks, Councillor Fry. And, I learned a couple of things about you today. Woo!
There's all sorts of things.
Sorry, Clerk, do I have to see the chair, or are we good? I have to see, and who am I seeing the chair to? Okay, Councillor Boyle, can I see the chair to you, please?
Absolutely.
Great.
I will take over the chair, and you are up to speak.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And I'm not going to get as personal, but I do want to put out there that Vancouver has a pretty good reputation for, being in AI, being in the blockchain, crypto, NFTs. And I have the benefit of traveling the world and going to a bunch of different conferences, be it, South by, be it Abundance 360, be it different blockchain conferences. And I can tell you what you are doing in the community, it has ramifications across this planet. And Vancouver is known as, ground zero for a lot of this stuff. Aligned with what Councillor Fry mentioned, it's we're in one of these situations where we have to build more housing faster, and by default, in a roundabout way, it actually will help the ecosystem as well, because now, as soon as we build more housing, more people that want to work, in the blockchain, in AI, can actually do it in the city of Vancouver. And all I got to say is, we're really proud of what you're doing. I've actually, I've almost been to Decentral a couple of times, and so many people have recommended it, and I'd love to come by. Yeah, if I still have the invite. But I think it's important to note that while, I'm going to be voting for this, by the way. Make no mistake about it. We want to support the ecosystem big time. The future of our city, country, and well, province, relies on it. And so you're going to get a ton of support in other areas because you are the future of our city. So I just want to say thank you for everything you do, and it's really appreciated. And you're knocking the cover off the ball. Thanks. Can I get the chair back, please? Yep, we're good?
I guess so. Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Councillor. Okay. So with that, we're going to bring it to a vote. Councillor Montague, oh, perfect, great. And it passes unanimously. So thank you very much. Great. And so can we take a 3-minute recess? Is that okay? Does any member of council wish to declare a conflict of interest on item number 4? Okay, I don't see anyone's hands go up. The clerk will now read the application and summary of correspondence received.
There's an application by Anthem Fraser Developments to rezone 3231 to 3245 Fraser Street and 675 East 17th Avenue from Commercial District to CD1 Comprehensive Development District to permit the development of a 14-story mixed-use building with a partial 15-floor rooftop, amenity area with commercial at grade and 110 secured rental housing units, of which 20% of the residential floor area will be secured as moderate income units, over 3 levels of underground parking, a floor space ratio of 6.9, and a maximum building height of 45.5 meter, with additional height to 47.5 meter for a partial 15th floor rooftop amenity area are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation. The following correspondence has been received since referral to public hearing. 17 pieces of correspondence in support, 6 pieces of correspondence in opposition, and 1 piece of correspondence dealing with other aspects of the application. That represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. This is the first call for speakers. Any speaker for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll-free 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be added to the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Allison Smith, and I'm the rezoning planner for this rezoning application being considered under the Moderate Income Rental Housing Pilot Program known as MERP. The site is located on the northwest corner of Fraser Street and 17th Avenue, 1 block south of the Fraser and Kingsway intersection. The property is currently developed with 1- and 2-story commercial buildings with residential units above. There are 2 existing rental housing tenants on the site. The surrounding area is developed primarily with 1- to 6-story mixed-use buildings. Many surrounding properties have opportunities for redevelopment under the secured rental policy and under the Broadway plan for properties north of 16th Avenue. The site has many amenities within walking distance, including commercial spaces on Fraser and Kingsway and Macaulay Park and Robson Park to the north. The site is within the catchment area of Florence Nightingale Elementary and Tupper High School, both of which are less than 800 meters away. The orange stars on the map represent sites where other MERP projects have been approved, both at 14 stories along Kingsway. In 2017, Council approved the Vancouver Housing Strategy as well as the MERP program, which enables consideration of this rezoning application. Originally, the intent of the MERP program was to encourage new rental units that are permanently secured for moderate income households, those earning between $30,000 to $80,000 per year. On October 4th of this year, Council approved the below market rental housing program optimization, which led to some changes to the MERP program, including setting rents in the dedicated moderate income rental units based on a 20% discount to citywide average rents by unit type, instead of rents based on static incomes as was previously the case for MERP projects. At unit turnover, the rents can be re-indexed to the current citywide average rent less 20%, and below market rents are set at the time of occupancy permit issuance instead of at public hearing. Under the MERP policy, applications must continue to secure a minimum of 20% of the proposed residential floor area for these moderate income units. The program establishes incentives, including additional height and density, to make securing moderate income units a viable option in comparison to homeownership. Under the MERP program, higher building forms of up to 14 stories may be considered through rezoning for C-zone sites located at an arterial intersection such as this site. This rezoning application was submitted on January 5th, 2023, and the application proposes to rezone the site from C2 to CD1 to permit the development of a 14-story mixed-use building with a partial 15th level rooftop amenity area. A total of 110 rental housing units are proposed, with 20% of the residential floor area secured as moderate income units, approximately 22 units. Commercial space is proposed at grade, as well as a 2-story, 3-bedroom townhouse unit accessed from 17th Avenue. An FSR of 6.9 is proposed, and a building height of 149.3 feet and 155.8 feet to the rooftop amenity are proposed. This slide compares the cost of renting and ownership. The application proposes that moderate income units starting rents will be between $1,135 per month for studio units and $2,447 per month for 3 bedrooms. This is shown in the left-hand column. Although MERP rents are no longer set based on income, they are now based on a discount to the average CMHC rents, the eligibility for the units is still tied to income. For new tenants, household incomes cannot exceed 4 times the annual rent in moderate income units. An estimate of those incomes are shown in the second green column per unit type. The middle blue columns indicate the average starting rents for new rental units on the east side of Vancouver in 2022 and the incomes that they could serve. The right-hand side yellow column provides information for ownership in the east side based on CMHC data for median priced units. Both moderate income and market rental rates will be well below the monthly cost of home ownership. With respect to the proposed rental units, these would be secured through a housing agreement, both prohibiting the stratification of units while also limiting the rates at which rents for the moderate income units may be increased even on a change in tenant. A virtual open house was held in February of 2023. A total of 118 submissions were received. Generally, comments of support focused on the following. The height and density proposed is appropriate along arterial roads such as Kingsway and Fraser Street. The proposed development will add much-needed affordable housing and rental stock to the area. The proximity of the proposed development to transit and amenities will enhance the walkability of the neighborhood and connect to the bicycle network already in place. Folks also mentioned that the ratio of bicycle parking to car parking is appropriate. Members of the public also noted that the proposed development will be well served by existing amenities, revitalize local businesses, and encourage new business development. Generally, comments of concern related to the following. The height and density proposed in this development does not fit the fabric of the neighborhood. The amount of parking provided by this development is inadequate, and resident parking around the neighborhood cannot support additional parking from this development. A number of members of the public also noted that the soil around the area is unstable and cannot support a development of this size. Folks noted that reports and studies should be conducted to measure the stability of the marshy lands for future developments. In response to feedback, staff note that the scale is in keeping with the MERP program as well as the planned context for the area. The project meets the city's urban design objectives regarding contextual fit, shadowing impacts, and livability. In terms of concerns surrounding parking and traffic, the development is required to meet the parking bylaw. In response to feedback about soil conditions, the site is located in a peat area in the city, and city engineering staff have confirmed that the applicant's engineer is to ensure that the development does not result in negative offsite impacts as it relates to groundwater and soil conditions. Conditions in Appendix B of the referral report require the applicant to submit a groundwater management plan and updated impact assessment at the development permit stage, with further information on recommended actions. In terms of public benefits, the applicant is electing to take the DCL waiver, but citywide utility DCLs and DCLs on the commercial portion of the development are still applicable to the project and are anticipated to be approximately $1.3 million. The CAC policy also applies to the project. However, Real Estate Services reviewed the application and determined that no CAC is anticipated from this development. Additional public benefits include rental housing, including 20% of the residential floor area secured as moderate income units, secured in a housing agreement. In conclusion, this proposal is consistent with the intent of the Moderate Income Rental Housing Pilot Program, and staff support the application subject to the conditions contained in Appendix B. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Allison. Is the applicant team here to speak to the application? Thank you. Are there any questions from council to our team or the applicant team, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? All right, seeing none, we will now hear from the public. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium before the close of the speakers list. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Now, we do have speakers for this item. So the speaker number 1, Russell Wong. Russell, are you there again?
I am here again.
Great to hear your voice again. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Russell Wong. I'm calling to support this rezoning, which is a little over a kilometer from where I live. I'm a longtime Vancouver resident. I'm a member of a pro-housing group called VANA, the Vancouver Area Neighbours Association. Although I'm a homeowner myself, I know a lot of younger people and renters. The reason I'm calling is that housing in Vancouver is maddeningly scarce and expensive, making us all worse off. If approved, this 14-story apartment building will provide 90 badly needed market rental homes. Renting in a purpose-built rental building like this one means you can have secure housing without having to be rich enough to own and without the insecurity that comes with renting a condo or basement suite. The building will also add about 20 below-market rental homes, which are even more desperately needed. They'll be affordable for working households with incomes between $45,000 and $72,000. There's very little displacement of existing renters. The location is right on Fraser Street, close to Kingsway, so it's adjacent to 2 frequent bus lines. It's 30 minutes by bus or 20 minutes by bike to downtown. The staff report notes that there's nearby schools, Florence Nightingale Elementary and Tupper Secondary, which are both under capacity. So adding more apartments, with 1/3 of them being 2-bedroom apartments, is a good opportunity to add more family-sized housing where we have underused schools. I understand that opponents are concerned about the height, but this is basically a block off Kingsway, which has high-rise apartment buildings as you go towards downtown, approaching Main, and also as you go further out at Kingsway and Knight. There's a trade-off between height and affordability. In particular, including 20% below-market rentals, which provide less income than market rentals, means allowing more density. For opponents who say that 20 below-market homes aren't enough, the way to get more would be to allow more height and density. Another concern from opponents is about street parking. This can be addressed by introducing permit parking on the street. It doesn't seem like a good reason to block desperately needed rental housing. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you very much, Russell. The next speaker we have is Fraser Blanchflower. Fraser, are you there?
Hi, yes, speaking. Good evening, Mayor, Sim, councilors. My name is Fraser Blanchflower. I'm a resident of Vancouver, and I've called in to support this development, and not just because it's on Fraser Street. I've been following this planning process for this project for a while now. I've looked at the plans, and while I know that occupancy is years out, I'm interested in potentially leasing an apartment in this development. I plan to relocate from my current home in the next couple of years and hope to find rental unit in the rapidly gentrifying Fraserhood. I've just helped my sister move back from Vancouver, or to Vancouver from London, so I know how difficult it is to find affordable and modern rental housing in a good neighborhood. So I hope to see this project move forward. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you very much. The third speaker we have is Lauren Walensky. Lauren, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening. Hi, yes, my name is Lauren Walensky. I live in the immediate area. We actually moved a couple years ago. We were living at 20th. Now we're on 28th, so we moved south of King Edward. We love the area. We've chosen to raise our 3 kids in this area. We go to the local schools. We use the local services along Fraser. Like many in Vancouver, we know and understand that we are currently in a housing crisis. I asked council, and hopefully council can motivate staff to act as if we're in a housing crisis and to approve this and the associated building permit in a quick manner. We need these housing units to get online. I'm worried about housing for my 3 kids, even though they're little. I guess another thing here to note is this node at Kingsway and Fraser has become quite a important little node in the city. There's a few restaurants there that are quite noteworthy. I understand the old Bible store is currently being refreshed and renovated, and along with this building will further strengthen the node and also hopefully revitalize some of the storefronts that have become quite dilapidated. So I guess in summary, I ask council to approve this without delay and direct staff to hopefully issue a building permit very quickly so we can get these housing units online. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. All right, do we have any other speakers on the line?
Speaker with the last 4 digits, 3402. Can you please state your name and whether you're a resident of Vancouver?
Hi, my name is Pia Montes, and I am a renter. Hello, Council. Thank you for the opportunity to weigh in on my rental housing development before you tonight. As a renter living in Vancouver, I have called to offer a brief comment in support of this application. More rental housing, especially purpose-built rental, which protects people from displacement, is needed in the city. The housing situation in Vancouver impacts us all. Many of my friends who are in their 30s have left or are planning to leave Vancouver because of the cost of living is so high. So this project, which proposes to deliver secured rental housing and below-market housing, is a good one in my opinion. I'll keep my comments short and just say that I am in full support of this project. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you for your for calling in. Do we have any more speakers on what we do? Great.
Speaker with the last 4 digits, 7104. Please state your name and whether you're a resident of Vancouver.
Matthew McLean, yes, I am. Hello, Mayor Sim and members of council. My name is Matthew McLean, and I own a small 6-unit apartment building just about a block away from the project being discussed tonight. And I'd like to offer my support. I first learned about this application when I received a copy of the developer's open house notification in the mail, and was certainly pleased to learn that this new rental housing is being planned for the neighborhood. Our little building has over a 10-person wait list, which really speaks to the need for more rental in the area. The aging buildings at that property are primarily commercial, with only, I think, a few tenants that may be displaced from this new development. I think it's a prime opportunity for this type of density and development in the zone. I also think that the added rental housing based on the proximity to the Mount St. Joseph's Hospital and the Florence Nightingale Schools and Charles Dickens Elementary Schools, the great restaurants and parks and public transit in the area, including the Broadway subway plan, which is close by, should really add to the uptake and the tenants wanting to be in this zone. These rental homes will be a great option for faculty as well as the healthcare professionals at Mount St. Joseph's, who we see a lot of tenants at our own building applying. They already live in the neighborhood but want more options, newer options, because most of the product in this area is quite old and tired. The moderate income component that is proposed to be built will be a huge benefit for the future residents, many of whom are also working in the neighborhood. Thank you for the opportunity to address council tonight. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much for calling in. Do we have any? Wow. All right.
Speaker with the last 4 digits, 5985. Please state your name and whether you're a resident.
Eric Freebob. I am a resident of Vancouver.
Great. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, City Council. My name is Eric Freebob. I am a resident of Vancouver, and I hope to see the rental housing development that you are considering at Fraser and East 17th Avenue proceed. This project will benefit the local renter population, which is more than half of the residents in Vancouver, by providing access to more than 100 new proposed built rental homes, including a number of below-market rental homes. Vancouver is facing a rental housing crisis. This type of housing is badly needed, so I hope that the city can accelerate the permitting process for projects like this. I am in full support of this proposal, and I thank you for the chance to participate tonight.
Great, thank you very much. Clerk, do we have another call on?
Speaker with the last four digits, 1702. Please state your name and whether you're a resident of Vancouver.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Bailey, and I am a local resident, and I live just a few blocks away at Fraser and 30th. And like many in Vancouver, I am a renter, and I'm lucky enough to have secure housing. But when I see the updates on vacancy rates, my heart goes out to the people who are in search of a home. New rental housing coming onto the market, especially secured rental housing, is always good news to me. Just south of here, Fraser Street has become a vibrant community hub for shopping, restaurants, and other retail, and it would be great to see that kind of activity here. It makes for a very friendly neighborhood for all walks of life. So I hope to see this project approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have more speakers. Great.
Speaker with the last four digits, 3335. Please state your name and whether you're a resident of Vancouver.
I am a resident. My name is Nicholas Dollyway. Hello, Mayor and Councilors. My name is Nick Dollywall. I'm a resident of Vancouver and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. I know it's been a long evening, so I'll keep my comments to a minimum since Russell and Matthew took the words out of my mouth, but I am in support of this development. The stretch of Fraser Street is a great location for new rental housing, given its vibrancy and inclusive residents. I believe future residents will benefit from the new Broadway subway line nearby. And the development, as mentioned earlier, is so close to so many great cafes and restaurants, which I frequent often. Again, I'll keep it short. I just want to reiterate my support for this project, which will create new secured rental and moderate income homes to serve the city's housing needs and for current and future residents. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. See the head nod, so it looks like we have another speaker. Two more.
And speaker with the last four digits, 2915. Please state your name and whether you're a resident of Vancouver. Thanks.
Here today, I sent in several renderings I did of the project, and they're in the opposed. So I am opposed. I'm a renter, and I used to live very close to the site. I was on 15th and Mount Pleasant, so I know the area quite well. And one of the things, both in the Mount Pleasant plan and the other plans, that we didn't really see a lot of upscaling in the area. So as a renter, I would support 3-4-story rental, even 6-story on that site. But once you start going to 15 stories, which I guess this building is, then I think there's a really big difference in scale, and then you really start to lose a livability there. There's also a lot of great views going down Fraser Street from 23rd and so on, and the whole city opens up. And to see Fraser Street become a wall of towers on both sides, I really think there's a loss in that. But one key point I wanted to bring up with all of council is with the computer modeling, I wasn't able to get any of the city data on the other side of 16th, apart from the Broadway plan area that I actually did last year and the year before. So it would be great to have some of that open data out. The shadow diagrams in the staff report are incorrect, and I'm really disappointed that staff didn't check the accuracy of the shadow diagrams, because once you start making drawing conclusions on shadow diagrams that aren't correct, then you're going to have erroneous conclusions with the amount of shadowing. And the shadowing later in the year around now is going to be a lot more severe than at the equinoxes and during the summer solstice. So please do keep that in mind. In terms of the actual form, this is a small site. It's like less than, it's about 97 feet on the frontage, and it might be actually too small for a tower of this magnitude in terms of its massing. It's 6.9 FSR, and I think that the MERP program isn't really looking at the whole livability of the city. There's a lot of density in one spot to land, and you're waiving your CACs, and I'm not sure about the DCL, what that will be. But I think that MERP needs a rethink, because there's a lot of development going there and not a lot of CACs that are being collected in terms of revitalization of Kingsway. And we've seen that nothing's happened in Norquay and in other places with CAC uptake. In terms of the staff analysis, I'm also disappointed that the impact on the views and the whole experience of Fraser Street wasn't mentioned as a precedent. And to say that, well, this is just like outside of the Broadway plan area, and that's a reason why you want to support. I think there's a reason why you had that plan area, and why this is outside of the plan area, and why a C2 style zoning with 3 to 4 stories, or maybe even up to 6 stories in wood frames, would be better for the site, and it's better to spread the density out. Having a lot of density in one spot also leads to land lift and land speculation, which is actually what is driving the unaffordability in the city by making land more and more and more expensive. So for this and a lot of other reasons, I would oppose the rezoning. I am a renter. I do support rental in the right form, which is C2 at 4 stories, perhaps at 6 stories. The other thing that does happen is when you talk about stories, you don't talk about dimensional height. And that is a key with some of the very, very large floor-to-floor heights on the base commercial grade that are being allowed. I think that is also making some buildings like this out of character with the streetscape. But I think design isn't really fitting with the neighborhood. But I think more than that, it's the precedent, and the 6.9 FSR is just way too much. So I would encourage the applicant to reapply with a 4 to 6 story form as rental, and I would be happy to support in that sense. In terms of going into the future, I would want to see if there are any checks and balances to make sure that the materials coming from the applicant are correct, like the shadow diagrams. And I know I can't add staff questions, but I hope that this will be addressed in terms of having accurate renderings.
I'm sorry, we're at time now. But,
okay, well, thank you for listening. I'm opposed, and thanks for your patience.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. All right, that's the last of our speakers waiting online. So this is the final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and made available on the live stream. Any speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium. We're now going to take a 5-minute recess for any additional speakers. do we have any additional speakers online?
There are no additional speakers on the phone or in the chamber.
Great. Seeing that there are no additional speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Seeing that there are little or no comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now closing the receipt of public documents. Does the applicant have any closing comments? Thank you very much. Do our team members have any closing comments?
Comments?
Thank you. And does council have any questions for our team members? Gone. Okay. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendation? Councillor Joe, I saw your hand, and Councillor Boyle, you seconded. Thank you very much. Is there any debate? Seeing none, let's put this to a vote. Councillor Carr, do you need a vote assist?
Councillor, yes, please. A vote assist in favor.
Great. Thank you very much. Passes unanimously. Congratulations. Okay, so we need a motion to adjourn. Come on, I don't see any hands here. Councillor Montague, seconded by Councillor Carr. Thank you very much. All of those in favor say yay.
Yay.
All those opposed say nay. Great. Carried. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the hard work.
Thanks, everyone. Yep. Thanks, Mayor.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Congrats.